Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Pagani Design PD1717 homage to Longines Spirit. Let's start with the wrist check. I just finished my morning workout, so I'm wearing my G-Shock GD350, and Greg was wearing my Addy's Dive AD2030. I took Grego to see the new Willy Wonka movie. He was disappointed because he thought I was taking him to see Willy Wampa, who is quite famous in his galaxy. I said, does Willy Wampa have a chocolate factory with Oompa Loompas? Grego said no, it's more of a butcher's shop with Ugnaughts and Jawas. All right, let's take a look at the watch. If you saw my last review, this is identical to the box that the other Pagani Design was in. This was very common. And here is the watch. Isn't that a nice looking watch? I really like it. We have yet another Pagani Design on this channel. You would think that with as many Pagani Design watches I review that they would be my most popular reviews, but you would be wrong. My most popular Pagani Design review is of a GMT root beer and is only at 6,000 views. This PD1717 is an homage to a Longines Spirit. Longines is a rather old Swiss watchmaker that is now part of the Swatch Group. Recently, Longines has stepped up in the watch world and brought much attention with visually pleasing updates to the Conquest line and the new Spirit Zulu GMT. With added attention comes the Chinese homages, and although Pagani Design just made an homage to the Zulu, this is just your basic three-hander version. Oddly enough, this watch does not have a date despite having an NH35 movement. If you look at the Longines website, the only Spirit three-hander models that don't have dates are the titanium versions. So it's a wonder that Pagani Design didn't include a date. Maybe because Longines does color match date wheels. That never stopped Pagani Design before. If you don't like the blue colorway, then there is also green, white, or black. The metal bracelet is the only option. The watch is 35.6 millimeters at the bezel, but 38 millimeters at the case. A real Longines Spirit is either 40 millimeters or 37. So this is a little bit bigger than the smaller Spirit, but not much. It's 44.9 millimeters lug to lug with inverted end links. Inverted end links is always nice. It's 12.8 millimeters thick if you include this domed sapphire crystal. Has a 20 millimeter lug width and weighs 132 grams on the supplied bracelet with 3 links removed. Yes, you heard that right, 3 links. So the bracelet's plenty long. Then we have the bezel. The bezel is smooth, and it looks like we have polished chamfered edge and brushed up top. And it looks like the side's polished too. So it's a nice looking bezel. Then we have the dial. The dial is a teal color with a nice sunburst effect. And then we have the minute markers. And then we have the indices, and they're all numerals, and they are fully loomed. And there is a dot right next to each of them, and these dots are not loomed, just the numbers. And then we have the Pagani Design logo up top, just printed, and then it says 200 meters automatic on the bottom. Yes, you get 200 meters for this watch, which is kind of overkill. We don't really need 200 meters. Which is odd because Pagani Design usually only does 100 meters on their dive style watches. So I don't know why they bother with 200 meters on a non-diver, but that's what they did. So I guess we'll take it. And then we have the hands. We have a fence post minute hand and a fence post hour hand, but the hour hand's a little bit thicker. And then we have a second hand with a loom tip with a red accent, and that's kind of a nice touch. I like that. There is no date on this watch. A real Longines Spirit has a date. The 37 millimeter has it at the 6, and the 40 millimeter has it at the 3. So it's kind of odd that Pagani Design didn't do this, because this is an NH35 movement that has a date. So maybe they just didn't want, maybe it's the fact that they didn't want to color match it. But the green Longines Spirit isn't color matched. I think it would have looked fine, not color matched, because it would have replaced a white index. but oh well. Then we have a sine screw down crown. The thread action's fine. You don't feel a lot of resistance. It doesn't pop, though, nicely like most of them do. So I don't know, maybe the stem's just a little short on this one. But, I mean, it's no big deal. It doesn't start threading in on me when I wind it or anything. And when you go to press it back in, it catches just fine. So the thread action's good. It just, I am expecting more of a pop than this one's giving me. Then we have a dome sapphire crystal with AR coating. It mentioned AR coating in the ad, and this is the version 2, and it said they improved the AR coating. So, of course, I don't have a version 1 to compare it with, but if you do have a version 1, supposedly this has better AR coating. Then we have the case. The case is very nice. Nice brush sides, chamfered, polished chamfered edge there, brushed up top and brushed on the bottom. I really like this case. I think they did a good job with it. And then we have the case back, and the case back is a coin edge. Don't ask me why. I don't think Longines does coin edge case backs. And Pagani Design usually doesn't do coin edge case backs, even on their Rolex homages. So I don't know why they decided to do one on this one. Maybe it was just, maybe they already had a case back that fit this one. I don't know. But it says Pagani Design, 20 bars. And then gives the model number, the PD1717. And you will need a 30.5 millimeter tool to open this, which is one size bigger than what comes in that kit. This kit I bought, this kit only comes up to 29.5, which is pretty standard size. But this, I had to order a separate one, a 30.5 millimeter one. So that's kind of a pain. Underneath the case back is the NH35 movement. It would have been nice if they would have done an NH38 since there is no date. So since the NH35 does have a date, you do have a ghost date. This is a 3 Hertz movement with 24 joules that hand winds hacks and has a bidirectional rotor. And they're usually fairly accurate right off the shelf, but we'll go ahead and test it because I spent a lot of money on this Timegrapher and I don't want to waste it. Here it is on the Timegrapher. As you can see, it's running very, very accurate. -2 and 0. So yeah, this one is doing really good. We got a little bit of beat error though. That's why you see 2 lines on the screen, 0.5 milliseconds. I've seen worse beat error, but it's not great. Of course, it's running so accurate. I'd rather have accuracy over beat error any day. Pretty good amplitude at 283 degrees. So yeah, this NH35 is doing great. The bracelet is a 5-link, believe it or not. Here, let me show you the link off that I took off of the watch, one of them. See, and it's fully articulating. So that's great. You always want a watch that's fully articulating because it will contour to the wrist better, just be more comfortable. So I really like that. And we do have solid end links and they're inverted, which makes the watch wear a little smaller. And instead of screw pins, we have push pins. And I'm always perfectly happy with push pins. Usually Pagani Design does screw pins. And I just think push pins are easier. You can always just pound them out with a hammer and a tool. You don't need to get a tiny little screwdriver. And if they get stuck on you, you just get a bigger hammer. If you get a screw pin that's stuck on you, you're kind of screwed. You might actually have to take it to a watch shop. Plus, I've had screw pins come out on me where I've never had push pins come out on me. So I'm perfectly happy with push pins. I know a lot of people prefer screw pins because it just sounds like a premium item. And I guess it is, but I just think push pins are easier. Then we have a milled lower, pressed upper clasp. These are your pretty standard clasps. They're nothing special, but they do the job, and they look fine, and it is signed. And I prefer these to the Rolex style clasps that they usually use, because once again, this is not a Rolex homage. I'm still dumbfounded though that they did the coin edge case back. Here's the watch of my 7.5-inch wrist. I think that looks great. It wears nice and flat. The fully articulating bracelet just contours to the wrist just great. And it has the inverted end links, so that helps too. I had to remove 3 links, so that adds, you could probably add another inch to this. So 8.5 inch should be fine. Anything bigger than 8.5, you probably don't want to wear a 38mm watch anyway. So yeah, it looks nice. I really like this watch. I think they did a good job with it. Here we are in the lume room. The last Pagani Design review, the PD1758, actually had good lume, but just wearing this watch, I'm pretty sure lightning isn't going to strike twice. As we speed up the time, we see the green glow of C3 lume, but the indices fade almost immediately. The hands are much better than the indices, but that isn't saying much as the minute hand is almost gone. The hour hand is a little better, but this is not good lume. What do I like about this watch? Well, it looks and wears great. I really like this case. I think they did a good job with it. And I like the fact that it has a fully articulating bracelet. That's always nice. What are my gripes and groans? No date. The Longines that it is homaging has a date, and the movement has a date, so why not put a date on this watch? Coin edge case back, why? And the lume is pretty substandard. Do I recommend this watch? Sure. As long as you don't mind not having a date, this watch looks and wears great. It's a real awesome looking watch. I think Pagani Design has a real winner here. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Pagani Design PD1717, and I will be back with another review. More than likely that Addie's die that Greg was wearing. I know I said I was going to review that one next, but I did this one instead. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. I've had over 3,000 subscribers now, so I'm slowly moving on up. Bye.